Yo, welcome back to more Owarimonogatari episode 4, and I really want to start off this pre-episode discussion with something that is important that I did not get into last episode in retrospect of everything up until this point with Araragi. And I think this kind of speaks to the moment where they talk about Oikura's abuse, right? And it's like suddenly mentioned, like it's like suddenly Araragi's, has to remind himself about that happened, through Ogi like probing him and all these things spill out. And it was like, I was like, wait, what? I remember in that moment last episode, I was like, wait, what? Like abuse? Like what? Like that it was such a jarring like realization. But I think and because shout out to Nitinol and Thorfinn on Patreon and visiting his train of thought, is it's jarring because Araragi forgot it, right? And this is a pattern, right? I can't look at this in a vacuum. Up till this point, that being revealed is significant, almost to the point where I was like, okay, is something going on with this memory? Like, is there really another memory door? Is something being messed? Like, no, this is just like, this is a thing that's been happening with him. It happened with Nadeko. It happened, like, Thorfinn reminded me about when Karen said he was so harsh she almost killed herself. I remember that at Nisa, and I was like, whoa, right? And then Araragi not remembering that. There's a lot that he forgets, that he represses. Because I remember how I was feeling last episode. It's like, okay, what to expect from Araragi as a 7th grader to read into an abusive situation and then think to tell his parents about it. I mean, that would have been great if he did so, but it's like, I was kind of like, what to expect from Araragi in that situation. Apparently, the novels kind of go into it deeper as far as like Araragi's memories being contextualized. Apparently, had Araragi musing that her parents were probably in the house at least sometimes. Surely, we never saw them in the whole visual, like showing Araragi going there back then. It was never no parents or anything. It was just them together, because they had to have been there at least sometimes whenever he was there, even though he never saw them, like just a few meters away. With Oikura knowing that, any false word that she said would result in her, like, getting beats or, like, probably punished every time he visited. Like, always hit somewhere it would not leave a mark, obviously in a very abusive way. And that him coming every day likely put a huge strain on Oikura and made her a bigger target for his family's anger. Overall, Araragi forgetting these things is very strange and repressing them, like... And it feels very odd. I'm not entirely sure what to think about fully so far, because we saw this before with Nadeko. I honestly don't know how to feel about it, or even like toward Araragi, or like especially for this situation, like Araragi being so young. But it's just, this is a thing that happens with this character, and it's very conflicting, and it's interesting, like how they're delving into this again, which I'm glad they are, because they have established this, like with Nadeko before, and other examples like with Karen as mentioned, and the whole with Shinobu before, with that whole, when they went to the parallel world. So yeah, that's an interesting thing to keep in mind, a very uncomfortable thing to keep in mind about this whole thing. And I wonder, like, if it's going to be delving into that more, like what Araragi is going to make of that, or how he'll reconcile that mentally if he like realizes this kind of, like, I don't know, it's a very like deep, like, psychological thing establishing with Araragi, like that he forgets, and he legitimately forgets, like he's really having to dig deep here to remember these things, or even like remembering that she was even in the high school, his first high school class, right? Like, it's just, wait, like, even like seeing, like, he didn't even recognize her seeing her then, right? It's very like, it's very strange, but I think it's a cool thing to explore. And while I don't know entirely how to feel about it, it just feels weird, but it's a very real thing, and it's definitely I guess obviously a failing of Araragi in his character. Quite a big flaw there, but I'm just kind of digesting that. I don't entirely know what to think, as I said, but I gotta say also, another equally, I think, very interesting thing that Thorfinn on Patreon also brought up was that, because they mentioned last episode, like, Araragi's parents, like, when Ogi kind of examining Araragi's character and I guess that trauma there about his parents. Like, you know, Araragi brings up about them being cops and about that them, you know, when he as punishment like took him to like the police like holding area. And I had to look up what it was. It's literally like a small like kind of outpost building where they can go in, they can like do like things in there, but they can like hold people in there like to be detained, right? Apparently they did that with him, which is a very harsh thing to do, like as punishment to a child, like a police punishment for a child. So, and I think that's good context for like examining these things about Araragi. He mentions this in the comment. You don't really ever see Araragi's parents like come to his mind. The only time you like see them is like in Hanakawa's arc in Monogatari's second season, right? And I remember like G like comes across his mother and it's like the first time you see her and it's like, oh shit, right? You've never seen them before. He never thinks about them. It's like when it's like either addressed by other people, like where it comes from, or even just maybe even briefly by him, but it never. So you can like infer that he never like really got that sense of care. Obviously, while it's not as bad as like, you know, and these kinds of sufferings are relative, but as you know, the upbringings of a lot of characters in the show who were fucked up by it the same way, and the way Araragi was fucked up by it, he wasn't really instilled with much love and care besides this sense of justice that he inherited from his parents, right? That's like the main thing. That's what it was. Like it's like Araragi says like his parents' justice is more important, like even if it's their child, like it's above all else. Like that doesn't imply like an understanding or a compassion, despite Araragi being a child making a mistake, right? That they punish him in an equal way as someone like committing a crime. Like that implies a lot there, right? So it's like in not really getting that love and that care, like, you know, just with this sense of justice, you know, so fervently going out to try and save people and, you know, I guess love everyone in a sense as well. Like he's, you know, he sees even like his barriers with people, like he crosses a line like countless times with a lot of the, you know, women in the show, and it's like you could see like just because of the lack of that, that's like the only way he can really express and like pursue that, because, you know, his parents obviously are justice obsessed and want to help everyone, so he's, you know, them not giving him that care, he just kind of imitates that in place of like the love that he should have gotten. I think it's a very cool thought, because then going into detail, like comparing that even to Araragi and his siblings, right? Like Araragi, of the three, he is the most like crazy one in that sense. Like he's the most justice obsessed, he's the most horned up all the time, honestly. And you know, the way they're all weird with each other might be them kind of seeking that love for. There's just like you know, there's a lot of levels of weird there, but it makes sense, right? Because you see that in Araragi, and then who's the next justice obsessed? It's Karen, right? And then, you know, she's like a bit more zany in that way too. And Tsukihi is like the least justice obsessed, right? Like it doesn't really even mean anything to her. She's just like imitating it at this point. She's like but the idea behind that is because like Araragi being the firstborn couldn't really rely on any like older siblings to like get that support. He wasn't getting it from his parents, so he pursued in that sole way because he had no one else. You know, Karen having Araragi, and Tsukihi having Karen and Araragi as older siblings, so having that support there. And I think that's a really cool way to think about that, man. So I really appreciate you leaving that thought in the comment, man. That is awesome, because that, like, even explaining like their weird tendencies and like the justice and like, and even maybe like contextualizing why Araragi is, of course, is a bit fucked up, you know, from the way he was raised and like instilled with this like extreme justice, like, because the whole hero of justice like thing is a super super self-destructive, and just like he's gotten super fucked up by it. But it's like, that is trauma, that is a reason to be fucked up, you know. So I think that's amazing to reflect on in this arc where Araragi personally is being exposed or being explored like as a person, because up till this point the show has been done very well at like hinting at these things and like building up to this point, and now it's like we're fully pulling the curtain down. But yeah, that is awesome, man. So thank you for sharing that. Shout out to Thorfinn and Nitana on Patreon. yeah, so, going forward, I look forward to more if we explore more, Hanakawa talking about there's more doors to open, which I'm sure there is, because again, Araragi has forgotten a lot, or if it's like another factor there of like interference, possibly. I think that's less likely, but curious now, like what's gonna happen with Oikura in real time, now that we've explored the past, like determined the reason why Oikura despises Araragi, even like before the assembly, understanding now what she went through, the abuse from her parents, moving around, unfortunately disappearing, and then Araragi not getting the sense of or understanding the help, the compensation that she saw from him, which was to save her, right? He wanted him to save her. Poor Oikura, man. I said poor Oikura, man. So I'm wondering what the salvation is here, what understanding they could possibly come to. Again, I think they mentioned like even apologizing could make it worse. Of course, it's very delicate. Oikura being an abuse victim, not only that, but also being the victim of just the assembly in high school, like having her high school life disrupted too. Like who knows how she was punished at home through that as well, right? That is like, to think of that is just like, oh fuck, And what Araragi and her relationship as a kid, what that meant, we know now what it meant for Araragi, just, the mathematics, right? And in a way, like him maintaining his prowess in mathematics is kind of like the way that he, still kind of maintains that respect, still. But as far as reconciling now, Oikura saying like, you don't even know why you're happy, you don't even know who you are. Like, but I don't know what I'm hoping for as far as like Oikura and Araragi, like as far as them making up, or even what that's gonna look like, if that's even possible, because you still have Ogi in the background. I don't know what Ogi is gonna like do next. They've already are alluding to the machinations, of course, like with Nadeko, that are about to happen, right? And honestly, the timing of these is interesting, considering it's kind of the same situation of like Araragi, forgetting about Oikura, and then later about Nadeko. And then there's like the things like Ogi is like, the effect Ogi has about getting Araragi to spill so much, even showing the hypnosis thing, the classic hypnosis thing with the pocket watch, while Araragi was spilling his guts, which you can maybe assume is why he was spilling his guts so much. That was just like a visual cue to show that Ogi was like really pulling it out of him. I don't know, it's still very tricky. Like as cool as I can like dive into just the idea of learning more about these things and like where it could go with Araragi and Oikura, in the back of my mind, I cannot let go of just this wariness of Ogi. I don't know what Ogi's gonna do next, and it's honestly terrifying in the face of like what I would like to see, which is that reconcilement between Araragi and Oikura. Like, who knows what's gonna happen now? Like, this is Monogatari, man. Things, and just, like life, things aren't gonna play out ideally, so we're just gonna have to see what the fuck is gonna happen here, man. But yeah, hopefully, have I talked enough? Yeah, that's it, man. There's always more to talk about with Monogatari, but I'm ready to get into the next episode, so let's go. Beginning the episode in 3, 2, 1. Oh, great. That's exactly what I wanted. She is who she is. That's a great way to say that. She's blacking out so many things. And everyone lived happily ever after. Few math classes in a row. Okay, a Japanese problem. Here we go. Okay. In 4 words or less. Okay, yeah. 20 words. Whoa. You must use the words Ogi Yoshino in your answer. Because, he did say that at the end of last episode. How foolish am I to forget these things? Which isn't important about his mind state about these things. His perspective about why this happened. Yeah, the reason. Alright, let's get into it. We're going. Confirmed it with Sengoku. Okay, so he remembered. Yes. Huh. That's why I don't know what Ogi knows. Oh my god. Hmm. It's a good question. Maybe she doesn't have to. Hashashin. A job for a detective. I guess it would be, right? Detective Ogi, right? Hmm. Right. But since she's not, yeah, I think Ogi is chilling. Hmm. I agree. True. Ogi is Ogi after all. Moderately smart, dude. She has some force working for her. A child. A feeling of cuteness. There is a subtle cuteness to her. How you repay Oshino. Hmm. That is very admirable, Araragi. Not another one, please. Oh, with Kamaru? Onto my heart. Yeah, very strange. Very weird. She seemed to influence you quite a bit. I guess that is a perspective. That's his perspective anyway. Let's see if Hanakawa can break it. No. Yeah. Araragi's not even. Oh my god. Like subconsciously, you can't like. He's under a spell, man. There's something going on, man, that he just can't perceive. Okay. It's not about Oikura. It was never about Oikura. Yeah. It's you. It's you, Araragi. Yeah. Exactly. And he's not privy to. I love Hanakawa saying this. Because, of course, Araragi has no reason to think, really. Hmm. Yo. Foreshadowing Hanakawa. Her current address. Sodachi lost. Hmm. Oh, fuck. Damn. Visiting her, huh? Oh, both of them. Yeah, I think that could be. Feel like Hanakawa's gonna visit Senjo. Letting him choose, okay. Let's see. One's lover, or one's mortal enemy. Good choice, I feel. There are things to resolve there. Oh. Hello. What are you talking about? We plan to meet here, right? 3:42. That time is disgusting. I hate this. I hate this in the best way. You fool. And then there's this imagery with street signs all the time. Non-revolving sushi. All these Jedi mind tricks. Oh. Nice. Hmm. Sorry, Ogi. No, not there. No. Way too talkative. Whoa. Velcroed that shut. Jesus, Ogi. Yeah, I heard the Velcro sound. Can we not? Can we not do this, please? Ogi, please. No. Araragi, resist. Resist. Yeah. Hmm. Apart from her parents. With a relative? On her own. Oh my god. I'm sure it is, Ogi. God, poor Oikura. They divorced. 5 years ago, right? When her family was shattered. Not good, not good. Don't visit a girl alone. Yeah, I had a feeling she was going this way. You're really trying to deter him. Well, that's never stopped him before, to be clear. But, you know. Later, Ogi. God damn it. Oh, no, no, no. God damn it. Dude. Dude. That's a welcome offer. Then he questioned it in his mind. Is that welcome? Oh my god. Hmm. Too adept, Ogi. Supernaturally adept. I'm sure you would. Yeah. That's true. That would help. Oh my god. Did you see that hypnosis in his eyes? The spiral? What the fuck, dude? Oh my god. Let's go. Let's go. Hell yeah, Hanakawa. Stop this shit. Release. Release the genjutsu. Release. Let's go, Hanakawa. Hanakawa versus Ogi. Let's go. God damn it. That expression. Disappointing. Look into my eyes. Yo. Yikes. What kind of relationship is that? You just met him. Exactly. Look. Look at this artificial insertion that Ogi's trying. That is true. They're measured by experiences. That's true. Yeah, sure, sure. Just as you planned, Ogi. To create this closeness between you. Yeah, he has. He was helpful in that regard. But... uh-huh. Yo. Yo. Aranagi. Yeah. A genius. Yes, his niece. Totally. Koyomi. Red light. Ooh. I knew it was about to get spicy, man. Oh, fuck. Wow. Wow. Yo. Hell, it's what you know. Yeah. Comparing that to Hanakawa is interesting. Jesus. And her future. Oh my god. Good. Good. Yeah, you don't want that. That would be detrimental. Compartmentalization. Compartmentalization. Yeah, I'm sure you will. Possessing him. Creepy. Forcing himself into that role. Forced is the right word. That saves Araragi. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, Grateful Crane. That was a good comeback by Anakawa, but... Hmm. Okay. Did you just make that up? Now, because of that, I gotta show my gratitude. Even putting my life. Ogi's so good, man. Hanakawa's not relenting, though. Let's fucking go. I'll go with you. Easy. Green light. Let's go. Yeah. This is the solution. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's so good. Yeah, yeah. Right? Okay, Ogi. Ogi's trying. Ogi's still fighting. I'll just stay over. There you go. She'll let her. Hell yeah, even better. Pajama party. Mmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't need your happy medium, Ogi. Okay, now this is Ogi's last resort, putting it on Araragi. God damn. Come on. Come on, Koyomi. Yeah, if he decides, she'll have to accept it. Either one will. It's true. Hanakawa's not gonna force it, unlike Ogi, but at the very least, he gets to choose. Jesus. Come on, Hanakawa. Retort. Oh my god, she's playing into him too well. That was the right thing to say. God damn it. Fuck. And she will. God damn it. I just don't trust Ogi. No. I promise you. Wait. Wait. Here it comes. I knew it, dude. Done. It's over. That's it. Ding, ding, ding. We have a winner. It always comes down to that. The one thing Ogi couldn't fight. uh. Huh. Government assistance. Yeah, apparently Sengoku remembered it? That's crazy. Because you mentioned that at the beginning of this episode. I was like, what? Yep. This is a thing. With Oikuda, I was pretty impressionable. At the very least, but... I suppose so. Alright, let's see how this goes. Ooh. Maybe. Maybe I am. Oh, good. Great. Mm-hmm. Good. He trusted her. Fantastic. Good. Ogi can play. Whoa. What happened to her? Why she hunched? Oh, spoilers. Wow. Jesus. Well, that's yet to be seen. I don't know about that exactly. Hmm. uh. All right. Yep. Time to go. You gotta face it, bro. My duty. This personal responsibility. And okay. Yep. There's the ending. All right. Oh, apparently there's an opening for this arc. So we didn't get an opening for this episode, but apparently there is one for the Blu-ray. I'll do a reaction to that. What the hell? Is that a female Araragi? I don't know. He looks more feminine there. I don't know, because then there's the yeah. I don't know. Shout out to Hanakawa, man. She was the MVP this episode. So, because they remind you, as they have been doing up to this point in this series, that Ogi has a very strong pull over Araragi using her words. I mean, Ogi is very good. Obviously, she's a good talker, like delving into being able to pull these things out of Araragi. But it feels like it even goes beyond just her being like having skills within like almost like a mentalist to be able to like to do these kinds of things. It could be that, but it feels like there's something else going, like a force or like an aspect of Ogi being an apparition that is like a charisma that just brings it out of him. And that's like part of why before I suspected maybe Ogi could have been a vampire or something, just due to like that, you know, the silver tongue aspect, that they're like honeyed words, right? I don't think she's a vampire. I think obviously she is an apparition, and that is probably tied into this pool that she has. But and Ogi is smart, you know. She was very quick on her feet and like going back and forth with Hanakawa, and that whole thing was great. Koyomi just shuddering in the background, just wriggling around in his witnessing of that was really great. But just that was awesome. Hanakawa, because it started off the episode with Hanakawa just. She was the right one to talk to about these things, you know, about Araragi. As far as Araragi remembering about Oikura knowing about Araragi's parents being cops, apparently it came down to Nadeko. Maybe I misunderstood that. But yeah, Araragi remembered why she knew that, which was good. So Hanakawa was able, like, you know, in exploring that. And also just about Ogi, because it's Hanakawa being outside of like what Ogi's doing with Araragi, and I love how they said it. It's like the assistant forcing themselves into a role. Like that's exactly what Ogi's doing. Like they just met 3 days ago, and yeah, Ogi was correct. Ogi had very good answers. Like, you know, friendship isn't really measured by time; it's measured by experiences. But these experiences were instigated by her. They're significant because we are exploring Araragi, like who he is, and that's awesome, and I love that we're getting that. But still, these like scenarios were like kind of artificially created, quote unquote. I mean, the timing of it is insane too, with Oikuda coming back to school at the exact same time as like Ogi forces Araragi to face his the past trauma of the assembly and what that did to his justice, and remembering back then about Oikuda and, you know, the mathematics that she taught him and what that meant to him as a person, and forgetting that and, you know, reawakening that. All that is significant, but it's like, yeah, she is forcing this. This is so artificial, and he can't fully grasp that because Ogi is very good at taking advantage of Araragi's personal responsibility. There was like she was doing that well within like her retorts to Hanakawa and trying to convince him. And now at this point, understanding Araragi as well as she does, she can be so effective, even more so at convincing him, just because. And to whatever end this, I don't know what the end goal of all this is, because clearly she wants to ingratiate herself with Araragi. She doesn't want to create a scenario where Araragi dislikes her, because she wants to avoid that. So that is like, that's a crucial aspect of like what she wants. She needs Araragi to cooperate, to trust her. To trust her as the happy medium, to reveal the truth, like to trust her, right? That's clearly something she values in what she's doing, what Ogi is doing here, right? So it's like, even though I can't really see the end goal of this, we don't really know the full intention there of like what Ogi's really trying to do in the grand scheme. It's like, it's important for Hanakawa to point these things out, because Araragi can't put that together himself, being within the situation, because he is just so susceptible to whatever force. Just, you know, Ogi as a person just being intelligent enough, or just well versed in like the psychology to draw that out, or whatever it is. Hanakawa had to be the one to step in and just kind of like cut through and be like, yo, listen, like, I'm worried about her. And then Araragi took it as like, oh, you think Ogi, you know, is about Oikuda? I was like, no, about you, Araragi. You're the one I'm worried about. Like, and Hanakawa said the most ominous thing, which, knowing what happens afterward, was, you know, very true, considering what we know Ogi later did, instigating with Nadeko. And obviously, as we saw in Owarimonogatari, what happened with Taratsuru and everything. But that's, I have a feeling that, you know, the spring break we went through was hell. But I feel like the worst is yet to come for you, Araragi. I feel like that's coming up. Just Hanakawa just getting that vibe already from Ogi and like what Ogi's doing, and just, I love that she was able to step in and just cut through the bullshit, right? That was good, and that was important, because even though it resulted in a hilarious moment where Ogi in her final pushing the choice on Araragi, because that was the last resort at that point, right? When Hanakawa just decided to just, okay, I'll just go with you then. Right? Because then what does Ogi say to that? You know, she diverts it a bit, and then she pushes it on Araragi. Because if her pull on Araragi is strong enough, then it's like, you know, he'll choose Ogi anyway. And it was funny because it's like, Araragi, if you here's me, I'll let you touch my boobs. And it's like, oh, which is hilarious. But for Araragi later to reflect, that wasn't really the reason. It's because Hanakawa, to distrust Ogi, like for Hanakawa to go so far, even though Araragi himself can't really like sense the danger with Ogi, or like put that together right now, just because he's so caught up in whatever Ogi's doing with him that he can't like. It's so weird. It's like Ogi's like created this bubble around her interactions with him and Araragi, and Hanakawa's trying to like burst it, and she kind of was able to. But thank goodness Araragi trusted Hanakawa enough just to see how far she was going, like to that to be the reason to choose her. Thank fuck, man. So that at least throws a wrench in Ogi's things. And yeah, now they can have this confrontation with Oikuda, however this is going to go. Now this is what I'm really looking forward to. This episode was important. I love Hanakawa so much. I already love her character. And like for her to do this for Araragi is fucking amazing. Now coming up with Oikuda, that's going to be a different thing. She's in her pajamas because she's like, I'm not gonna change clothes just because Araragi's here, like, you know. But yeah, like Araragi was saying at the end, it's like the gates of a castle, whether like a declaration of war, whatever this is gonna be, like I have to face it because it's my duty, like based on what happened back then, right? That's part of his personal responsibility. too. So yeah, we're gonna see, man. But yeah, and I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning of the pre-episode discussion or even the end of last episode, but Araragi just reflecting on feeling foolish, like how long have I been a fool? But at the same time, that's like been an instigation by Ogi as well. Like Ogi is the one like, you're a fool, like she repeated it, and she did it again this episode. You're such a fool, Araragi. You said we would meet here exactly at 3:42. Look at you on time as always. Oh, you're such a fool, Araragi, right? Like, and it was so hilarious the time she said to meet up, because obviously it was the exact time that it was. But to the fact that it was like 3:42, like just not even a 10 number, just shows just how blatant Ogi can just make these things up and convince Araragi. You know, and he questions it like briefly, but ultimately he still like trusts it, and it's so strange. It's almost like witnessing an abuse with, like, his mind is like being abused right now by Ogi, and it's very like, it's very strange to watch. Even amidst all the cool things we're learning, like the fact that that is like the overarching thing that's happening, triggering all these things, it's like, just feels bad, man. But again, that's why shout out to Hanakama. That was really good. But yeah, that's it for this one. I think that's all there is to say there. There's probably more to say. There's always more to say about Monogatari, but that's all I can squeeze out of my brain right now. If anyone else has more to say about this episode, as always, I welcome that, because I really love the thoughts that y'all have shared with me so far. As always, but definitely on this series has been very, very cool. And I look forward to what's next. So once again, thank you for watching. If you're seeing this on YouTube and you want early access to even more of my Monogatari reactions, I will be on, let's see, this was 3. I'll already have released episode 6 of Owarimonogatari on my Patreon. So if you want to get, wait, no, this is episode 4. Episode 7 of Owarimonogatari reactions will already be available on Patreon by the time you see this on YouTube. So if you check my Patreon link in the description, for $5 a month, if you want to support the channel, you can get immediate early access to more of my Monogatari reactions, and obviously continuing every single week if you like. But otherwise, once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.